Welcome back to Tampa Bay Right Now. We've been talking about how the Bay Area can learn to go green. And with us now are Melissa Canaris of Green Dreams, Florida, and Brian Lauer from 2B Green World, two local sustainable solutions companies. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Melissa, tell us about Green Florida.
Green Dreams. We call ourselves a sustainable solutions company. We like to provide solutions to people on things they can do on a daily basis to affect the environment.
And what's your role with that?
We help to go out and give consultations to people. We teach people how to compost. We teach people how to grow food from seed. We also sell trees. We've got 84 fruit trees, bushes, and vines at our nursery. We've got 2 different nursery locations in the area. We're working on getting into the school system so we can teach kids how to grow food. I believe that there's a big disconnect with kids and knowing where food comes from.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's been studies that show that when you teach a child how to grow food and they get that experience, they're more likely to eat that food as well.
Right. So Brian, tell us about your company and what it is that you do.
Well, basically we're a consulting company that works with commercial buildings, primarily office buildings, and hotels as well, getting them LEED certified. It's a green certification, probably the most popular green certification in the world, and really just focus on saving energy, saving water, recycling.
And that not only helps them, but it helps the environment, it helps their cost, am I correct?
Yep, absolutely.
So it makes all of that go down, right? Yeah.
Our goal is really to reduce the operating expenses at these buildings, by reducing the energy use and water use and recycling, which saves them money and then also creates value for the building. So when they go to sell the building, it's going to be worth more.
Right. Well, and that's good for any company, I'm sure. And also we're getting that, hook for the environment as well, probably saving on energy. So Melissa, tell me, with organic foods, what's the difference between buying organic and then buying just processed foods?
Well, buying organic, you're always going to be opting out of the pesticides, the herbicides, the chemical fertilizers that come from oil. It's always best to buy local. That way you know where the food's coming from. You're also opting out of the fuel surcharge. They say that the average salad travels 1,600 miles.
Really?
So when you're buying local or you're buying locally organic food, you'll be saving that fuel surcharge.
And I've heard too that buying local will help with your allergies in that area. Like I know I've
heard about
like
local
with
honey.
pollen.
Yes.
If you buy the local honey, you can actually build up your immune system against this pollen.
That's right.
Have you heard that?
Yes, I've
heard
heard
that
true?
before.
Yeah, it's true. It works for my family. My son has allergies, and we do give him. It has to be raw. It can't be processed honey. But it's especially important to get it locally from the area. Whatever the pollen triggers are for your allergies, that's usually taken care of by the local bees.
And does your website give out organizations that sell this local honey? Do you have any
We
resources
don't have any of the
for
honey
that?
listers on there, but I can probably get that up on the site as well.
Oh, well, great. Look, I've already helped. So, Brian, tell us more about your company and what are some ways that you go into these places? What are some things that you do exactly to help their cost, to help the environment?
Well, for these larger office buildings, we work with the property management team and all the vendors for the buildings, pest control, like you were saying, pest control, waste management, the HVAC, all the equipment that runs these buildings and keeps them cool, and implement sustainable practices, using environmentally friendly products and recycling more, making all the tenants, the building occupants more aware of what they can do to be more sustainable.
That's fantastic, and I'm sure, how can companies get in touch with you so they can do this?
They could go to my website, 2bgreenworld.com, and there's a lot of good information on there. And also for consumers, like individuals, there's a few documents on there, like ways to be green and things you can do around your house that they can download, and deals with energy, water, recycling.
I've heard just turning off the light when you leave the room. Don't stare into the refrigerator too long.
Turn the air up when you leave.
Turn the air up when you leave. When you brush your teeth, turn the water off, right? Those little things.
Yeah.
It all helps, right?
Absolutely.
It adds up.
I mean, there's, you can buy aerators for your faucets. They're a couple dollars at Home Depot that, flow 0.5 gallons per minute instead of like 2.2 gallons per minute. So that will save a lot of water.
And do these companies get tax breaks too when they go green?
It depends what they do.
I'm trying to sell your company here. I'm trying to get these companies to call you.
It just depends, really, you know, what they do, and you know, like Progress Energy does a lot of rebates for lighting retrofits and HVAC retrofits, and you know, the building envelope, changing out windows and things like that.
Melissa, let's talk about growing food.
Sure.
Now, I know before we even got on air, I was telling you I live in a townhome, I don't have a backyard, I can't afford organic, that kind of thing, and you were telling me ways that you can actually, very inexpensively, sometimes for free, grow your own food. Tell me about that.
Well, composting, for instance, composting doesn't have to be expensive, and you can also start your own. If you do have a yard where you rake up leaves, you can start a compost pile that way, using your food scraps in that compost pile. We were talking earlier before the show on using food scraps to grow from.
Tell that story, because it's very interesting.
You can do it with onions, you can do it with celery. I've seen scallions, garlic. What I did with my onion just a few days ago was, after I chopped up my onion, the remains of it, the underside, the bottom of the onion, I put it into a pot of dirt, made sure it was nice and moist, put a nice amount of dirt over the top, kept it watered. 3 days later, I'm getting new onion shoots. I'll probably get about 5 or 6 onion shoots out of that, and once I stick them in the ground, I'll be able to get 5 or 6 onions.
So that's just easy ways that you can do your own.
Right, and you don't always have to have an outside space as well. You know, as long as you have a good window spot that gets a good amount of sun, or at least morning sun, you can also grow things inside in containers.
And then you know what you're planting, you know that there's no pesticides involved. Are there any foods that you would tell us to stay away from? Don't even go there.
I would probably say stay away from corn and stay away from soy. Just because, they are the biggest.
Corn on the cob?
Not necessarily corn on the cob, and once again, if you buy local, you're probably going to be safe. I'm talking more about canola corn. They use a lot of monoculture, which is one crop only, to make a lot of corn products, soy products. You're going to see that a lot in box goods.
Well, these are all so interesting. I could talk about this forever. But thank you both for being here and telling us about your companies and how we can protect the environment.
Thank you.
Coming up next, I will be talking about recycling and more Going Green resources with Mark Cosby and Lisa Custer. Don't go away.